Hi, this is Les-Levine, the self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason in Ohio sports. I looked at the Indians lineup last night and said, who are these guys? I did it again tonight. Tonight at second is Mike Freeman. Greg Allen is seventh. Jake Bauers at first base, and then Ryan Flaherty. Flaherty is ninth because they wouldn't let him bat 10th. I'm hoping the Indians make the playoffs and then watch the Yankees or Astros laugh when they see the lineup, and then watch Yu Chang hit a Grand Slam home run to send the Tribe onto the World Series. It's going to be great. Bud Shaw is going to be great. More Sports and Les-Levine is on the air. From the worldwide headquarters of More Sports and Les-Levine, it's a Wednesday night. Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to More Sports and Les-Levine into its 24th consecutive year and seen exclusively on cleveland.com. Bud Shaw with us from WKYC.com. Did a terrific job on Monday Night Football, as did the Cleveland Browns, by the way. What are you doing?
I've already got my marker.
Yeah.
I've been told that there is a how come quickie tonight that may result in the first perfect score.
Yeah. It's the one I turned in.
Oh, it's yours. Okay.
So you don't have to give it a perfect score.
Well, it feels now like I'm under pressure.
And it is 50 minutes away from right now.
Oh,
so
okay. Well, okay.
You don't want to stain your jacket or anything like that.
But I am eager to hear what it is.
Well, listen, I don't want to put pressure on you. It's just maybe the best one ever. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. I don't know what you were able to hear or not hear on my Truth and Reason, but I said this lineup that the Indians have, I can't wait till the Yankees or the Astros look at it and see Flaherty and whoever.
When you said you didn't recognize anybody, I thought you were talking about the Tigers lineup. Of course, you would have to be pretty up on the Toledo Mudhead to recognize that.
Matching the Tigers up to the Indians, what have they won, 16 in a row?
16 of 17, 16 in a row, which I don't know has been done before. Has it been done before?
I don't know, but you would think, the old axiom is you put a team out there and they'll win 60 games and they'll lose 60 games, and it's what you do with the other 60 games. Yeah. That doesn't appear to be the case with the Detroit Tigers. No.
That's why when everyone says all the Indians have to do is get into the playoffs, you would say, well, all the Tigers have to do is get into a game against the Cleveland Indians, and maybe they would win one.
I saw the Tigers praying for rain today.
I don't blame them, actually.
But they're not going to get it.
The guy that's pitching tonight, and I wish I could remember his name,
for those guys?
Yes, for those guys, has a 3-15 record. And
he's their ace.
Yeah. At this point in the year, he might be.
3-15. How do you Roger Craig and a couple of other guys had 20 losses in a season. How do you allow that to happen? Don't you stop them at 19?
Well, when your team has won 40, what have they won? 45 or 49? I think there's a
It's
stat,
in the 40s.
There's a stat that 4 teams have a chance to win 100 games this year, and 3 or 4 have a chance to lose 100.
Last year, 2 lost at the Tigers and the Baltimore Orioles. This year, 2 have already crossed the 100 mark, and 2
and
more
they're not slowing down.
No, they're not slowing down.
Well, I think I've told the story. The first year I got here was late in 1991.
Right.
And that was a year that still stands as the most losses in Indians history, I believe, right? 105?
Yeah. Your point?
I know what that season looks like. I know what a lineup like that looks like.
It could only get better. But don't you think it'll be incredible if the Indians get by the wild card and get into the next thing against Houston or New York, and they look at the lineup, they start laughing, and Yu Chang hits a Grand Slam home run to beat him?
You really don't really know. I mean, if you got
you know.
No, you know. But if you got into say they get in as the wild card, and it just so happens that they can pitch Clevenger in that first game, you'd feel pretty decent about your chances, right? Now beyond that, you're not. You wouldn't be a pick to beat the Astros or the Yankees.
But I think they could score against the Yankees. I don't think they can score much against Houston.
Yeah, it turned out that Verlander guy was not bad.
This Houston team on paper may be one of the great teams of all time.
And I think they're just getting Correa back from injury. The Yankees also are getting, I think, just got Severino back. So some of the guys some of these teams that have been missing a couple players. You know, one of the teams, Les, that's almost as injured as them is Tampa, and that's who they're chasing. And it looks like with Tampa having to play the Dodgers for a few games, one more game. And you know, it's still going to come down to that final weekend. And
you said it all along.
And we're going to be looking at that series in Washington and saying, the Indians' fate is now riding on a series in which they can't use a DH because of baseball scheduling.
Because Reyes dropped a fly ball somewhere along the line.
Yeah, I mean, we all thought it was at least some of us, I'll speak for me, thought it was not a very good idea when they played Santana in the outfield in the World Series. Maybe they can get by for a weekend playing a guy.
If I told you you're playing a 3-game series with somebody, and you have to put Reyes out there, would you say, oh no, 5 balls are going to come to him that he, you know, and he can probably field 3 of them? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not real familiar. I haven't watched many of his games in San Diego. I'm just going by what people have said about his defense, and it's not good.
It's glowing.
Yeah.
All right, I understand. Little Birdie told me that you have a commentary that you'd like to...
Yeah, we're going to switch gears here and talk a little football. How about that in this town? A little football talk.
With a little football talk, here's Bud Shaw.
Yeah, well, Baker-Mayfield, Jared Goff is probably the marquee for Sunday Night Football at First Energy Stadium this weekend. The co-stars then would be Myles-Garrett and LA's Aaron Donald. Donald being the 2-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year. But the critical matchup? In my mind, it's Sean McVay, Freddie Kitchens. The Browns' rookie head coach matches wits with a coach largely viewed among the game's best and brightest. Mayfield hasn't looked quite like himself in the first 2 games for various reasons. But this game can go a long way to reestablishing Mayfield's 2018 brilliance and Kitchens' play calling. Or it will throw more shade on Kitchens' dual responsibilities as head coach and offensive coordinator. Right now, the job looks like a big one for Kitchens after 2 games. A win Sunday, especially if it's based on a strong offensive performance, could quiet the doubts that have already emerged in this young season.
You know what you did there? You talked about 2 key matchups, offense and defense, and then the coaches. Mm-hmm. You did not mention Odell-Beckham Jr.
Well, matchup-wise, I don't know who he's. I don't have a roster in front of me to tell you who he's going against, but I'm sure he has made note that he wasn't mentioned in this opening comment.
That's exactly right. All right, let's quickly look at the keys to watch. The Rams defense, they're terrific all over the place. In 2 games, they're 9th in NFL ranking with 18 points per game, 293 per game they give it up, and passing 201, and rushing yardage is 92 and turnovers 4, which is tied for 7th. Then we move on to Jared Goff, see what he's been doing. 67 attempts, 42 completions, 469 yards, couple of touchdowns and an interception. And then Todd Gurley, the running back, 30 carries, 160 yards, 5.3 yards per carry, and 1 touchdown on the young season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on with Gurley, and the people out there don't seem to know what's going on either. They're obviously monitoring his carries and have been since last season. Now, 15 carries a game is not, you know, a lot for a guy like that.
No, I wouldn't think so.
I mean, we think Nick Chubb's been underused here a little bit in the first 2 games. Well, Gurley even more so.
I want to go back quickly to what you said about Baker Mayfield, that something's wrong or different. Let me throw what I think is. With Freddie Kitchens calling the plays and that play clock going down to 1 and then almost 0 almost all the time. Number one, you can't call an audible when it's coming on like that. And I think that it's too much pressure to get that play off, let alone anything else.
Well, I thought that, to follow up on that, I thought that there were 3 or 4 plays during that game Monday night, just as a TV viewer, I wasn't at the game, where I thought the clock had already gotten to 0 before the ball was snapped, and it never got called. So it must have been right there, or maybe there's a little bit of a delay on the field. Eric Mangini, in his latest capacity, I can't remember if he's an ESPN guy or Fox or wherever he is right now, but he says that teams have decided that the way to defend Baker Mayfield is with pre-snap disguised coverages, and that was the reason why that play clock was getting down as low as it was in this game. So I don't know if that was, to me, the natural reaction is to say that the plays are not getting called in soon enough from the sideline. Mangini seemed to suggest it was something else, that Mayfield's not recognizing the looks that he's getting defensively.
Yeah, I don't think he has a long enough look at it.
Yeah, I think they need to, obviously they need to get a lot crisper. When I talked with Jim Donovan last night on Donovan Live, he felt that it was a matter of them not having Higgins, which seems to be his comfort,
right.
His security blanket when he really needs to go to a guy, and also with Njoku going out of that game as early as he did. And I said, yeah, I get it. You know, those are probably factors, but you know, we're also talking about an offense that still has Odell-Beckham-Jr. and Jarvis Landry and Nick Chubb. I mean, it's not like he's hurting for weapons right now, but it still doesn't look very crisp.
Exactly right. This portion of More Sports and Les-Levine brought to you by the Ohio Lottery. Did you know there are over 130,000 winners on the Ohio Lottery pick games every month? With that amount of winning, try pick 3, pick 4, or pick 5 for chances to win up to $500, $5,000, and $50,000 2 times each day from the Ohio Lottery. Facebook is the place you can find us, facebook.com/more-sports-and-les-levine, with new content posted each and every day. We'll have a Facebook question results a little bit later. Bud Shaw is with us. More Sports and Les-Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
Presque Isle Downs and Casino now has sports betting. Use one of the 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet. Then watch your favorite games on our new HD televisions or visit our new sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downs and Casino.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's doing a good job. I mean, he had 5 balls inside the 20 the other day, which is a great starting point for our defense. But what it also does is gives us, if we go out and make a stop, it gives us great starting position offensively. So, special teams, they understand how important they are to our success, and Jamie certainly understands that, and he's been doing a great job. And our kicker was 4 for 4 too. So, yeah, come on, man, give him some love.
Cyber kicked for you too since that missed extra point.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of, you know, it's not about what you've done; it's about what you are going to do, and that's what we expect out of him. We just want it through the uprights. He's doing a good job of. Those guys kind of get lost in the shuffle sometimes of working and trying to get better, and they're doing the same thing everybody's doing. They're doing the same thing as our tackle, our quarterback, our safety. They're doing the same thing. They're out there trying to get better every day also. They're always working on something.
Jarvis was returning kicks a lot Monday night. Should we expect more of that, and did you kind of like what you saw from him?
I don't know. You asking a secret or what? I did like what I saw from him. I think Jarvis is aggressive. I like people being aggressive in fielding the ball. So, yeah, you may see him again sometime down the road.
There you have it, Freddie Kitchens. You haven't said much. You haven't seen the traditional picture of him holding the game ball for his first win.
No, but they did give it to him.
Well, they should have.
Yeah. I'm told Steve Wilkes, I believe, made sure that Freddie got that in his hands.
Yeah, I assume it's done all the time.
I'll say this. We were critical of him after the first week for bringing an unfocused, undisciplined team into the opener. So it wasn't an impressive performance against the Jets in some ways, but I still think, you have to say that he got them a lot more focused. They had 9 penalties this time. 2 of them were intentional.
So they went from 18 to 9. Let me see the math on that.
Well, they went from 18 to 7, really, because they tried to draw them off sides twice and took delays, which, 7's not great, but they did cut down. Other than Myles-Garrett, they cut down on the extracurricular stuff. And Myles-Garrett better start doing that, too, or they're going to start judging him by his plus-minus numbers.
This portion of More Sports and Les-Levine brought to you by Northeast Factory Direct. But you said something before.
Was it brilliant, Les?
Well, I'm not sure because I'm going to sort of repeat it or paraphrase it. Then you tell me how brilliant it is. You were talking about the play clocks moving down, and I'm not sure from a television standpoint, I'm not sure that play clock was the game play clock.
Yeah, maybe not.
I think it's their own version in the truck.
Yeah, I'm sure that they're not getting buzzed yet to tell them that that they've gone over and there's a delay of game penalty. But certainly on TV it looked like it hit 0 before the ball was snapped a few times.
Do you think there's something wrong with Baker's arm?
No, I don't think so, because some of those throws he's making on 3rd and long to me are still the great plays that he made so often last year in kind of turning the season around. The throw he made to Beckham with the one-hand catch.
And by the way, you'd think that's a hot dog play by Beckham. I don't think he could have gotten that
No,
other
he probably
arm up
couldn't
there.
have. That was early enough in the game that the Trevor Siemian was mic'd up and I think jokingly said to one of his teammates, "Lucky catch," because that they've seen that from before from
on the same field.
Yeah, so it was. I thought going in that he had a chance of. Great players do big things on big stages, and Beckham certainly had that kind of game. And
all right, so let me touch on something that is obvious here. I want to talk about the special teams. The Scottish Hammer was the special teams player of the week. Deservedly so? Yeah.
I mean, the one question, that last stat is the thing that I think we all question going in. Like, you're going in with a guy who can boom it, but can he put the ball inside the 20?
I don't think you want him booming it ever.
And the Jets almost lived inside the 20 during that game. Right. I mean, that clearly for a team that was struggling offensively to begin with, that put them in a really, really bad spot. His leg did.
All right, let's talk about Seibert, who I think everybody holding their breath on the first one anyway, and he winds up kicking 4.
Yeah, I mean, so far the idea of bringing 2 rookie kickers into the season, which I questioned along with some other people, other than that missed extra point in the first game, looks like pretty good. Now he hasn't kicked in December here, in November, December, and maybe January for once.
There's got to be a game that will go down because of the bad field goal kicking.
Yeah, but so far, the special teams, I think, has been a real highlight. Of the 3 sides of the the ball.
Yeah, 3 sides.
Can there be 3 sides?
Sure. To a ball.
From the 3 aspects of NFL football, special teams has been the best so far of anything the Browns have done.
Yeah, I thought maybe you'd have trouble holding the punt, holding the snap, placement of the ball, and all that stuff. And in 2 games, that just hasn't happened. And
I think it says something about Landry that he's willing to return punts. He could big time it right now and say, "Hey, I'm a receiver."
Well, he also sees there isn't anybody else that could break him.
But that's what I mean. Is
that a John Dorsey problem that he didn't cover that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Dontrell Hilliard is probably their thought there. Maybe Antonio Callaway, which we know they won't have for a couple more weeks yet. So I think there were other options there that just didn't work out this early in the season.
This is Les Levine for Northeast Factory Direct. I've been telling you about them for a couple of months now. 3 locations, you see them right there, east, west, and of course to the south, which is Macedonia. You know the story. Alex started it 20 years ago out of a small garage in Lakewood, selling a single bedroom set. And because he had no overhead costs, he was able to sell it at half the price at a retail store, and that became his business concept. Now, all we talk about with Northeast, it doesn't have to be with gimmicky sales that traditional big stores have, but they have something special planned right now. They are celebrating 20 years in the business. It started in a garage, so they're having a garage sale all September long at all 3 locations. You're going to save more than ever before at Northeast Factory Direct in Cleveland at West 140th Street, Lakeland Boulevard, the old B&B appliance store, and of course in Macedonia, that's on Freeway Drive, northeastfactorydirect.com. Northfield Park, your home for live and simulcast racing. You can catch the excitement of live harness racing. The following days, you see them there Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Post time 6 p.m., but they open at noon every day for simulcast action from all over the world, all the great tracks, no matter where they are. Northfield Park, your home for live and simulcast racing. Free admission, free parking every day. Bud Shaw and I return in a moment. More Sports and Les-levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
No other company or product can match the features, benefits, and warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor.
We had a horrible storm that flooded our basement.
We had to take out that nasty moldy carpet.
And we never want to have to go through that again. That's when we called Nature Stone.
And with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your basement flooring again. Get Nature Stone installed by the end of September and save up to half off. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature Stone.
Winning enough for a new Saturday morning ritual. That feels like $1 million. Play the newest instance from the Ohio Lottery.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
You just want to finish the play, and I'm gonna keep on playing with that same aggression. Just gotta be, smarter, better than the strike zone, and try and pull off so I don't land on him with all my weight. And so that was the main point of emphasis when the refs talked to me. So I'm just gonna be better at that. But I'm not gonna pull off on a one step, hit on a quarterback like that. But if I know I'm having to do 2 steps or more, I'm gonna pull off. I'm not trying to do anything dirty. I'm not trying to injure anybody.
You said after the game that you were hoping Simeon would be okay, and then you sent out the tweet. So when you heard about the news yesterday that he was out, what kind of feeling? Was it tough?
You don't want to put anybody out for the season. I mean, it's their job, and it's just something that you don't do unless you love it, and you want to take that away from anybody. But I hope he comes back, faster and stronger than he ever has, and I wish the best for him.
Was the Simeon hit too high, or was that too much weight on him?
Both. They said I hit too high. When I looked at it, I didn't think so, but that's just going off of what they're calling. And they said I kind of scooped him and put my weight into him. So I had to just be able to just turn to the side or get my body weight off.
Myles, because of the penalties, are you worried at all that the officials going forward are going to be laser focused on you during the game?
I hope so. Get some home calls too. But
it could work in your favor though too, right?
I'm pretty sure it could, but I'm just gonna try and finish vitally, but also within the rules. Make sure I get the guy down, try to strip the ball from him, but nothing late or anything illegal.
Does it bother you at all too, that there might be an outside perception that you are a dirty player or you're not playing inside the whistles?
I mean, I know who I am, and the guys within these walls know who I am, and that's not me. I'm not going to do anything to try to hurt this team or take out any player outside of the rule book. I'm just going to keep on playing the game that's supposed to be played, and that's what I don't need but passionately.
Hey, Myles-Garrett is in his third year.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are talking they might be a dirty player. We've heard that around the league. Did we ever hear anything like that in the first 2 years, or is it that it's so easy for him to get through now that it looks like he must be doing something wrong?
Yeah, and I think, taking a swing at a guy last week was
that sticks with you.
Yeah, that sticks. But anybody who knows the guy's personality, I don't think, this isn't a Bill Romanowski type personality. Remember when him, So I think this has just been a, I don't want to say series of coincidences. He's got to get better at, like the last year he tackled Roethlisberger on that one play, and everybody agreed afterwards. He got flagged for it, but everybody agreed afterwards it really wasn't a penalty. So the one on Simeon I thought was the first sack.
Right.
That one clearly he scooped him and landed with his weight on him, I thought. The other one I didn't think was necessarily.
What you didn't hear was Greg Williams complaining about it.
Yeah, I don't know what Greg Williams was not happy when he was asked about Odell Beckham leading into the game, so I don't even know whether he was available after the game. Sometimes like when he was here, Browns coordinators have not been available right after the game, and you generally don't get them until the Friday before the next game, so maybe he hasn't.
Yeah, that could be the case. I mean, you talk about in baseball with some teams that you already have two losing 100 and maybe two more. Hugh Jackson may get let off the hook here between Miami and the Jets.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess the Jets could go in that division. They're going to lose. We know they're going to lose a couple of the Patriots, we think.
Perhaps.
They'll probably beat Miami. So somebody's got to win those games when they play them.
They play them twice.
That may be the only saving grace, but right now Miami looks entirely capable of going 0-16.
I've been saying this for a couple of weeks now that we know the Brady story, we know the Belichick story, and we know them together and all that. But for the last 15 years, you play the schedule game, you say, well, they'll win here, they'll win.
Yeah.
You could arguably mark down 5 wins every year for the Patriots.
Sure.
And most probably 6 in any given year, but 5 for sure.
Now, they had a couple of years where they went into Miami and lost games recently.
Right. But they weren't good.
They, their problems problems, I put quote marks around that. When they've lost games in the division recently, it's been, in recent seasons, it's almost been in the beginning of the season. And they tend to still be feeling their way around. Right now, I've heard people talk about this maybe as the best Patriots team in 10 years.
Ouch.
I don't know if that's true or not. It's hard to believe.
Why are they saying Antonio Brown, Josh Gordon?
Yeah, and Edelman as wide receivers. They've never had that much talent at wide receiver, I don't think.
No.
But conversely, they've had Gronkowski for a number of seasons and don't
different
have
style
him,
of play. Explore your interests. Find a program at Tri-C that puts you on the path to a bright future. Tri-C offers more than 1,000 courses and over 140 career and technical programs. Go to tri-edu to find out more about Tri-C, Cuyahoga Community College. 216-575-0403. We have the voicemail of Truth and Reason. You can call at any time if we're not here. We do the show from 6 until 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Any other time you've got a comment or a question, you can call us on the voicemail of Truth and Reason, 216-200-6650. And 23 hours a day, when not during the hours we are here, you can get the messages onto us and we will pass it on to the audience. We're going to come back in a moment. You're going to listen to Baker-Mayfield, see what he has to say as the Browns get ready for game number 3. That's on Sunday night against the Los Angeles Rams.
As a kid growing up, my dream was to go to college, play baseball, and get a degree. Coming out of high school, I had 2 choices. I was accepted into a 4-year university, but I decided to come to Tri-C after receiving a scholarship. I got my associate's degree at Tri-C. They transferred all my credits straight into Baldwin-Wallace, so I started at Baldwin-Wallace University as a junior. My name is Tyler Leonard, and I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family cool this summer,
let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes Smiley One Heating and Cooling. Find them at 440-449-HEAT.
No, I'd say, yeah, just getting the ball out quick, getting the playmaker's hands like I talked about. You know, just taking care of our guys, not putting our O-line in a bind, especially against a team like this with, you know, a great defense. So we'll work on those challenges and move forward.
Baker, go ahead. You're holding on the ball just a little bit longer this year than last year. Is that some of the looks you're getting? Is it, you know, new personnel you're trying to work in? Is it, you know?
I think it's a mix of a little bit of everything. Yeah, we're getting a little bit different looks, but we also need to expect some of the things we're getting just based on who we have at personnel-wise, you know, at receiver and everything like that. So just getting the ball out, having answers for anything to do, doing what we're good at, and, you know, like I said, finding completions. No, I think we can be more efficient, you know, just overall. I think within getting, you know, calls that we're comfortable with, you know, I got to be better within the week of, you know, giving Freddie confidence in what we're calling and what we're doing to where we can just line up there and he can trust us to go do the job, and no matter what he calls, I'm going to get it done.
Does that affect your rhythm when the play clock is getting down to 3-2-1 instead of getting up and going and kind of finding a groove with some tempo?
No, I think we got to be good at, you know, working the clock and then also, you know, playing fast when we need to. To me, it's just being able to manage it and do my job.
When Freddie says that he has to put you in better situations, from your perspective, like, what does that actually mean?
You know, he's going to try and take care of me, but I have to do my job when it all comes down to it. He's our head coach, and he's going to say that, but I have to play better.
Well, here you have it. This is the analytics to the nth degree, I would guess. Most time taken per throw, Kirk Cousins, 3.27 seconds. Aaron Rodgers is next, and Baker-Mayfield, Marcus Mariota, and Ryan Fitzpatrick. You think these mean anything, the minuscule difference in holding on?
I don't know. I mean, there have been plays because Baker-Mayfield has held on, he's made the play. Yeah. You know, on a couple of those 3rd and 12s where he got away from pressure and through. I think it's real selective. You know, if a guy's standing in the pocket and not trying to avoid pressure and he's holding the ball and he sees the pressure and doesn't get rid of it, that's probably when you would have some bone to pick. But
by the way, the How Come Quickie coming up a little bit later, it includes all of the measurements that we judge that you judge How Come Quickies by. I think the person who wrote it, me, took into consideration.
So there's brevity.
There's.
You got to look that up.
Let me think.
Are you looking up the word brevity? Okay.
Yeah.
There's no pun.
No. Absolutely.
Okay,
I will never be accused of that.
I'm excited to hear what it might be.
Okay.
How many minutes away are we?
I can't tell now. I can't tell.
Okay.
The clock management isn't as good as
your clock management
about 20 minutes,
is like
I'm told. Clock management I still
Pat
have.
Shurmur's right now.
I'm not Pat Shurmur's. He's the guy who has to get rid of Manning.
Since he's taken over, they've traded Odell-Beckham-Jr. Right. And now they've had to replace. They decide to replace him 2 games into a season after paying him $17 million for the year. I mean, I'm sorry, there are just certain things that if you didn't see Eli Manning's deterioration coming, I don't know what you were looking at.
No question about that. The other thing is, if you heard, on 92.3 The Fan, they always play the sound bites of Shurmur when he was here.
Yeah.
And they made fun of him. And I got to tell you something. They would say, well, if you can't pass the ball, you got to run. If you can't.
Yeah.
and everybody laughed at him. But if you listen to everything he says, they're absolutely correct.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Everything he said was true. It was just so obviously true.
Exactly. All right, we got a Facebook question of the day. We asked the following questions. Should Freddie Kitchens relinquish the play calling? If he's going to do it, he should do it after a win, by the way. All right, here you go. Rick May says, yes, Freddie has enough on his plate with the head coaching duties. Monken was hired to be the OC. Let him do the job. Dennis Davis, absolutely. He should work closely on the game plan, but then let the coordinator call the plays on game day. Kevin Malone, he should be calling the plays as the offensive coordinator. Gerard Morelli, yes, yes, yes. Did I say yes? Yes, you did. Peter Butler, not yet. Give him more time. Also growing into the head coaching job, too. Chris Ard says, yes, the play calling is terrible. And Dennis Percy, hasn't this team learned from prior disasters, like Hugh Jackson being the most recent? All right, let's just exclude Hugh Jackson.
I know where you come from on this topic in general.
Yeah. Am I right?
You agree with most of those.
I think that there's so much on the plate, and I think there's so much happening that he needs to be aware of it.
Okay.
And
how about this? I'll make the case that the only reason he's the head coach of this football team is because of what he did with Baker-Mayfield.
Then they should have hired him
year.
as offensive coordinator.
But they didn't. So he's now the head coach. Now do you want to take away the one thing that you know he does well?
There are, three coaches in the NFL that call their own plays?
I'm just saying.
And we're talking about Andy Reid. We're talking about We're talking about the cream of the crop.
So you want to take away the one thing you know he does well?
He did it well as offensive coordinator with plenty of time, as much time as possible between plays, without somebody saying, hey, you're down to your sixth. Oops, you're down to your seventh lineman. Oops, should we go for the onside kick here, or should we punt the ball, or should we kick it away? What do we do?
Well, They
weren't asking him that.
I believe it was Peter Butler. I'm with Peter when I say I'm not ready to make that call yet. If he gets Higgins back this week, and he has a full complement of players, and they're in their third game, and now they've all played together, and the offense still looks like this, then maybe I'll have a different opinion. But right now,
the ultimate thing is when a coach says, I got to wait to see the film or the tape. Head coaches should know what happens all the time on every play.
Yeah, I mean, there are some things that happen across the field that you don't necessarily see real well. But I agree with you. I just think he wants to get – we don't know what his relationship with Todd Monken is. We don't know if – I mean, we all assume that Monken's going to be a better offensive coordinator than Freddie. Why?
Well, we don't know. I just think in general – I don't think the head coach should be calling his own plays. He should be working on the game plan through the week. I just think there's so many things that happen. Unexpected stuff happens within the game. Injuries take place.
That's definitely true. So
that's
no.
Nice.
I mean, there's always unexpected stuff happening that you would like your head coach not to be pulled in a bunch of different directions.
Exactly.
But I'd still, I'm willing to give him a few more games to see how well this works out.
Well, you're not going to have any choice. Of course that's what's going to happen. And by the way, if they take the job away from him, it should be after a win, so they don't say that's what got him blamed. That got blamed for the problem.
Well, let's see what they have here. They have the Rams Sunday night.
Yep.
Then they play away at Baltimore. Then they have to go
49ers.
To the 49ers,
and
they
then
come back with Seattle.
Yeah, then
they have a bye week, and then Belichick. So I'll say this. At the bye week, if they're still not looking good offensively, then I think maybe you say, okay, we're going to try something different here.
Very good. Northeast Factory Direct, they don't do anything wrong there at 3 great locations. You see them right there, West 140th Street, Lakeland Boulevard, and of course Freeway Drive, that's in Macedonia. It's the new one. North, East, and South, all from Northeast Factory Direct with 3 fabulous locations. Coming up, we'll get to the American League wildcard update. In the meantime, Sokolowski University in. Tomorrow is Tuesday. That must mean I'm going to be there for lunch. The Joe DiMaggio record of I don't know how many weeks this is now in a row on Thursdays, but I'll be there. Sokolowski's University in. Mike and Bernie and their grandparents started it all. Well, their grandparents started it in 1923. And Mike and Bernie carry on the great tradition, and they won the James Beard Foundation Award. You know, people say, well, you say that all the time. I'll tell you what, that's like saying, I don't know, you're the greatest baseball team in the history of baseball. The James Beard Foundation is emblematic of being one of the great restaurants in the country. Only 5 win the award every year, and to my knowledge and Bernie Sokolowski's knowledge, They are the only ones in Cleveland that's ever won it. 5 minutes out of downtown, take the Abbey Avenue exit. That's where you're going to find Mike and Bernie Sokolowski's University Inn. We'll get back to baseball. When we get back, we'll take a look at the standings and where the Indians stand. And we'll come back in a moment with Bud Shaw exclusively on cleveland.com.
No other company or product can match the features, benefits, and warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor.
We had a horrible storm that flooded our basement.
We had to take out that nasty moldy carpet.
And we never want to have to go through that again. That's when we called Nature Stone.
And with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your basement flooring again. Get Nature Stone installed by the end of September and save up to half off. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature Stone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
This stayed in sports history. In 1996, Roger Clemens equals his own record, striking out 20 Detroit Tigers as Boston shut them out by a score of 4-0. I wonder how many Detroit Tigers, this year's Tigers, he would strike out.
27.
Out of 27?
Yep.
I think he'd do 28 out of 28. There might be a
pass
ball
ball
on the third strike.
Yeah.
Something like that. Les-Levine history back just the other day. He ties his own record of recording the open for the show in 13 takes. That's a record.
That is today, is it not?
I think so. I've never made you laugh.
I knew you'd been here all day. I didn't know why.
I have never heard you laugh before. That's great. Let's. By the way, I will say this about my How Come Quickie, which is coming up in the next segment, and the others are. Mine may not be the best ever. Okay?
Wait a second. You said it was.
It may not be.
All right.
It may not be. But collectively, this is the best we've ever had.
Wow.
This stack of paper.
Okay, so this
that
could
Karnak
be
has in his hand.
This could be the Mary Lou Retton night.
Could be. By the way,
how's that for an old reference?
I'll tell you what. Other than you,
nobody knows who Mary Lou Retton is.
No, other than you as a great guest on this show, the best interview I ever had was with Mary Lou Retton on radio.
Really?
For an hour. Yeah.
For an hour.
For an hour.
What were the circumstances? What year?
I think she was hawking a book. I was at WERE at the time. Huh. That's 25 years ago. Number one, you couldn't help but, you heard about this, you couldn't help but fall in love with her.
Yeah, she had a terrific personality.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Has a terrific personality.
He has one. She's great. All right, we got to take a look at the American League wild card update. Let's see where things stand as action will continue tonight. Oakland looks like they're in pretty good position, and they don't play anybody. They have a 2-game lead over Tampa. And here, I do have a How Come Quickie to go with this. How come you can't say the term loss column without saying the all-important loss column?
Oh, yeah.
So in the all-important loss column, the Indians are even with Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, well, we'll take a look at who everybody plays right now, see what's going on. Here's the Indians' schedule. They've got 2 more against Detroit, unfortunately, only 2. Philadelphia 3, then it's the White Sox on the road, and they finish. How about maybe celebrating an American League wild card spot in Washington? Nothing says stupidity
could happen.
Better than that.
The Rays look at the Rays. This is why I don't think the Rays are going to make it. Although that final weekend, Toronto is obviously not a very good team.
Yeah, but the Yankees need to win because they'd love the home field advantage against Houston.
Boston, of course, is not in it anymore. The Dodgers, they only have the one more game left, but the Dodgers are still chasing best record in the NL, right? With the Braves.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not. I think the Dodgers are ahead by a couple, but...
All right, here's the Oakland situation. They play Kansas City tonight, then 3 against Texas, 3 against the Angels, who are just horrible right now, and Seattle. They finish it up with Seattle, so they've got an easy schedule too. You got to go after you got to hope the Rays struggle here.
So I think now you're looking at a wild card. Who knows? You could have a playoff for the wild card, the second wild card, followed by a game in Oakland.
Right. You could play Tampa Bay, then go out and play Oakland.
Yeah.
The way it shapes up right now. Yeah. What do you think?
Would Kenny Lofton consider that the postseason? I guess not, right?
He wouldn't. But how do you not?
I never.
And by the way,
I never understood
I've heard people say, and I've said this before. I've heard people say, "Why do you want to get in this wild card? You're not going to go anywhere." The effect that it has playing games that are important like this can only help a young team like the Indians, especially their young pitching.
And listen, I know people think that we make excuses for the Indians. Given what, if you just step back from it for a little bit and you look at what they've lost Jose Ramirez. Basically, they didn't even have him in the beginning of the season because he was struggling so bad. But they lose him. They lose Kluber. They lose Carrasco. They never get Salazar back. They never get Kluber back. They lose Clevenger for a while. I just think that Jeffrey Rodriguez, who they used early in the season, they lost. Zimmer. Not that he was a big part of it.
Do we count Hanley Ramirez?
No, you can't count him. But I'm just listen. I'm surprised that they're still involved in the hunt for a wild card at this point. When Ramirez went out and Kluber's rehab got pushed back, I thought that was the end of them.
Yeah, I thought it was the end maybe 5 different times.
Yeah.
And I said it last night that Francona's won the AL Manager of the Year twice here in Cleveland. They ought to give it to him this year and then retire the title. Because
now you're going to get emails from people thinking you're being too nice to Francona.
Too nice to say he's done an unbelievable job?
Yeah, I think he's done a good job.
You don't think it's historic?
Well, I mean, if you look around baseball, who else would you consider it?
Rocco
Baldelli might end up getting it. I mean, if they win comfortably over do you think he's any less deserving? When the season first started, we didn't think they had a starting rotation that could even come close.
Who knew that Rocco Baldelli was the manager?
I know.
All right, Northfield Park is your home for live and simulcast racing. Live racing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Post time 6 p.m., but it's at noon for the great tracks, all of the great tracks all around the world. Northfield Park, free admission, free parking every day. When we come back, we'll check out some How Come Quickies. I have a feeling. Just have a feeling they're going to be good. Back in a moment, More Sports and Les-levine continues with Bud Shaw, exclusively on cleveland.com.
No other company or product can match the features, benefits, and warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor.
I had an epoxy-based sand paint on my floor that deteriorated, and that's why I called Nature Stone.
Why paint? It's expensive, it's ugly, and it doesn't last. Nature Stone is always affordable. It's beautiful, and with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your garage floor again. Get Nature Stone installed by the end of September and save up to half off. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature Stone.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a line. A long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just a mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Presque Isle Downton Casino now has sports betting. Use one of the 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet. Then watch your favorite games on our new HD televisions or visit our new sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downton Casino.
Oh, and Bud was just going to say something so cool.
This guy, by the way, is one of my favorite guys.
Dan Lobby? That's him?
The guy on the right.
I was going to say.
Oh, just kidding. No,
I was going to say that's Dan on the left.
No, Dan. Dan's a great guy, and
he does a terrific job.
Does a really good job.
In all deference to you, he does a terrific job on the show. And by the way, you're getting really good on Channel 3. And when you have your Hall of Fame acceptance speech, I'm going to assume you're going to thank me.
Well, wait till I go in there for my next negotiations with my new agent, Les-Levine.
George Uli, born on this date. Harvey Haddix, who threw, 12 innings, 12 and 2/3 innings of a perfect game. Oscar nomination, 1947. Chip Banks, Ryan Sandberg, and Lance Armstrong, all born on the 18th of September. Harvey Haddix was a pitching coach here. Probably before you got here.
Yeah, I believe that would have been true.
All right, here we go. This is the one. This is Les-Levine's special. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
How come if you go to a fast food restaurant that gives unlimited drink refills, you still would buy a large? Covers all the bases for a Bud Shaw Quickie. It's extremely humorous.
Can you read that again?
If you go to a fast food restaurant that gives unlimited drink refills, why would you buy a large?
Okay. But it doesn't say why would you, it says you would buy a large.
Well, because it starts with how come.
Oh, how come you would buy a large?
Yeah, they're called How Come Quickies, Bud.
You know what?
They're called Quickies, sir.
I'm obviously not very quick.
Yeah. So it
and
does,
my pen isn't working very well, but I'll give it a 9.8.
A 9.8 is as good as we've seen here.
Now, let's see. Where do we go?
This is Olympian. All right.
I'm switching to a different color.
A different color? Try the blue one.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. I'm telling you this. Well, first of all, you like that, obviously, if it's a 9.8.
Yeah,
and it's not just sucking up to me.
No, I read it wrong. That was my problem. I read it wrong, and I started getting a little confused.
This as a cumulative block.
I won't grade after the first one.
Okay, this is Mitch from Kent. Just a couple of thoughts. Number one, how come if Barbara Walters hosts New Year's at Times Square, she can say, I'm Barbara Walters, and this is 2020?
Okay.
All right, should we quit now?
No, keep going.
I'm telling you that might not be the best. Of course, I can't get these pages down.
Huh. That's definitely one.
Tim Triner, Tim from Canton says, how come when you're done eating, the restaurant patrons ask for the check when it's really a bill?
That's true.
Yeah. John Patrick.
Yeah, oh yeah.
How come I couldn't tell when I ran out of invisible ink? No puns, no pun intended. Just under the wire.
Just under the 9.8. You could tell I don't want to get kicked off the show. Yeah, those were pretty strong, I got to say.
Pretty strong. Well, we threw out some of the bad batches.
Okay, that was pretty good.
All right.
I like the invisible ink. See, the invisible ink is a twist. It's not a pun.
Correct.
Well done, John Patrick.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to do a shameless plug for me, and then you get to do one for you and all the great stuff you're doing on WKYC. I'm going to be on 92.3 The Fan from 10 until 2 Friday of this week and Tuesday and Wednesday of next week.
Wow.
I'm planning on being hilarious.
You're in demand.
Nobody else wanted it.
None of those days are holidays, so
no.
Yeah, so there'll be a big audience.
One would think.
Especially now that you say you're going to be hilarious.
And Tuesday and Wednesday be there after the Monday night. No, it's not a Monday night.
It's a Sunday night game.
I'm getting
though.
So confused with
People
the
will still be talking about it on Tuesday.
You think?
Oh yeah. Can you imagine if they win that game, Les? This city will be right back where it was on when everybody was walking to the stadium for the Tennessee game. I told you it was unlike anything I'd ever seen in this town because I got here in '91.
Just now, what happened 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, the walk to the Titans game. People were locking arms and chanting and singing and barking, and that's how excited everybody was for that first game. And they'll be right back there if they can figure out a way to win
game one
Sunday night.
didn't happen.
Yeah, well, it'll be like it didn't happen.
Right.
If you had told everybody you'd be 2-1 after 3 weeks, they'd be okay.
Pretty happy with it.
They would have thought the Rams might be the game you lose, so they'll feel even better that the Rams were a game they won.
Okay, you're on WKYC when?
I'm on Sunday night with Nick Camino.
Right.
Late, stay up late, people, like really late, and it's after Sunday night football.
You could dominate the Sunday audience from 2 to 4 in the morning.
And then I'll be on Monday nights with Jim Donovan on Donovan Live during the football season.
Okay.
Unless there's a Monday night game, then I'm on Tuesday.
All right, I'm going to say, I'm going to say this number over and under is 7. And then you tell me if it's over or under, and then I'll tell you what it's for.
Okay. I'll say over.
Over 7. I think 7 was about the number, how many times you mentioned Jim Donovan on the show tonight. And I just wonder if the two of you have something going.
I figure people have heard of him. They haven't heard of me. So it gives me more credibility to say I'm on with him.
All right, well, enjoy yourself with Jim Donovan.
I will with Jim. I'll tell Jim you said hi. Jim asked me how you were doing yesterday. So
and your answer?
Jim Donovan asked me, not just Jim.
Well, now it's over. It's over, Johnny. All right, that'll do it for us. Thanks to the great Bud Shaw. And we'll see you tomorrow night. Dan Lobby will be here tomorrow night. Of all the shows I've ever done, this was the most recent.
It's the second.